My heart is beating so fast. So I decided to purchase a handbag, and I was really obsessed with finding a bag that I could have for my entire life, something that I could go and get repaired. I've always loved vintage designer bags. Like, I've purchased a few Coach bags that I clean and condition, and I love them. I'll never get rid of them. But it's always been hard for me to obviously like afford something that's the kind of quality that I'm going to have forever. So I started watching TikTok, and I came across a video that started talking about how you can get authentic designer handbags from like Louis Vuitton and Gucci and all these other places for really inexpensive prices. And some of them were pretty beat up, I'll be honest. They weren't the best. But yeah, so I ended up looking on eBay for a really long time. I did a lot of research. I looked into people who recommended specific bags and sellers that would sell those bags. And so I stumbled upon the Petite from Louis Vuitton, and I did more research. I looked into the types of things that that Louis Vuitton would not repair. So one of them being cracked canvas. There's tons of Reddit threads that you can read online about how they will not repair cracked canvas. They won't repair the leather on it. It's just like a done deal. There's no way to come back from that. But there are videos where you can like kind of seal the canvas so that the cracks don't get worse. And there are third-party retailers that will repair them for you. Like, I guess, for example, maybe I can show you one of my bags, but maybe another time, because I don't really feel like going to go get it. But anyways, so I did a lot of research. I found reputable sellers on eBay that sell these bags, and I went ahead and purchased one, and I zoomed in on the photos, was a total psycho, made sure that there was no visible cracks that I could see anywhere, but if the leather was totally messed up, that I didn't care, because I was just gonna get that repaired anyways. So I tried to find the cheapest one I could find that didn't have any cracks in the canvas. And if the leather was totally horrible, that was fine. But I didn't want the interior to be totally disgusting, because like I want to have this thing forever, and I don't know, I just didn't want it to be gross. And no smoking, obviously, just because I hate the smell of that, and it's like really hard to get rid of. So anyways, I bought it from a Japanese seller. I think their name on eBay is it's Boom, the number 2, Hanton. And I purchased a Petite, and I got it authenticated through, oh God, now I can't remember their name. I think it's called Professional Authenticators. I think if you Google it, you can find them, and then you basically pay $5 or $10, I think, on PayPal, and they'll authenticate the bag by looking at the date code and a whole bunch of other things. So anyways, I had the bag authenticated through them, so I felt pretty good about it. They've had good reviews through this seller. And so I was really nervous about this. I took my bag to the Louis Vuitton store in my city. I live in Portland, and I said, hey, I'll be real with you about this online, but I'm interested in having all of the leather replaced on it, and I know that there's a really long wait time for it, but I just want to see if this bag would be eligible for it. And this bag, the leather was totally trash. There were cracks all around the outside perimeter of the bag. The bottom was totally stained and disgusting. The vachetta was not in good condition, but the inside was really clean. So I'm like wondering what happened to it that it was so clean, but the outside was like totally, like it looked like parts of it had just broken off because the leather had dried out. So I took it in, and I was like, hey, I'll be real with you. I bought this online. So then my SA, he took the bag to the back and was like, I'm just gonna go see if this would potentially qualify. And because I know that it looks like it's kind of seen better days and it's very well loved, and he was really polite about it, but it had looked really bad. And so I was like, yeah, no worries. Like, I am not expecting anything. And the really nice thing about this eBay seller that I bought from is that they had like a 30-day return policy. So like, and they would pay for the return shipping. So I was like, not worried. I'm like, if they reject it, then I'll just return it, and I'll try to find something that's maybe not as trashed. But the inside was clean. So I was like, okay, I'm about this. I'm just so happy. Okay, so this was in December. It was like December 18th. I remember the day. So I was like, yeah, no worries. Then he took it back, and the canvas was this vintage canvas is amazing. It was so flexible, it was pliable. It like had no defects on it, except for a little one, which I'll tell you in a second. But it was so flexible, so pliable. Like I have, I'll show it. I have the key clay, and this is like my first authentic Louis Vuitton purchase that I've had, and I have my little keychains on it. But the canvas on this bag, you can tell the vintage Petite, which I'll show you. The quality of it is insane. I just can't believe it got returned. So okay, so he takes it back and he looks at it, and he comes back and he was like, okay, I talked with my manager and they looked at it and they said that the canvas is in really good condition. It's just the leather that needs to be replaced. So why don't we just send it out and try? And if they can't repair it, then, you know, at least we tried. So I was like, okay, cool, no worries. So he was like, and then he was like, by the way, it's going to be like it is going to be a lot. It's going to be like $800. And I was like, no problem. And I know that's a lot of money, and it is a lot of money. And I know that, you know, we're all working through our financial things, whatever. It was worth it to me. It probably wasn't the smartest thing to do given the place where I'm at in my life, but I'm just so happy. I don't regret it. It's taken me a long time. I probably purchased, I don't know, in the neighborhood of like 20 or 30 bags and then resold them. So in my mind, if I can pare down my collection and only have a few for years and years and years that I'm going to love, like that is what I'm striving for. And I've bought and sold, and I don't need to justify it, whatever makes you happy. So anyways, so he's like, okay, it's gonna be this much. And I'm like, all right, cool. That's no problem. He was like, oh, okay. Like he was almost surprised. Like he wasn't expecting that I was going to be down for that, given the fact that I was like, listen, I bought this bag. It was super cheap online and I want to get it repaired. So he's like, okay. Now he's like, the second bomb he's going to drop on me. He's like, the repair wait times have been very long. He said it's going to be like probably about, like 10 months to 12 months. And now he's like, cool, no problem. That's fine. I'm down to wait, like whatever. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Like, well, let's get this started. And then also another funny thing I noticed, he was just like, let's create you an account. And I was like, oh, I think I already have one because I bought this for my 30th birthday. And he was like, oh, great. That makes everything so much easier. Like, I kind of feel like he wasn't expecting that I was going to have like a spend history. And like, yeah, this was, you know, probably one of the cheapest things that they sell there, but I've always wanted it, and it's like the most perfect wallet for me. I only carry cards, cash, but it still fits a lot. Like you can still carry so much in here. Anyways, this is not about the key clay. So he sends it out. This is in December 18th, remember? And I leave. I'm so happy. And I'm also really nervous. I'm like checking the app constantly under my repair services to see whether or not the bag has been accepted by the repair center. And like, I'm also thinking, I'm like, what if they reject it? What if it's like maybe not authentic, even though I got it authenticated? What is going to happen? And so basically I'm checking the app all the time. I know it's going to take a while. And honestly, throughout the month, like maybe about like once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks, I would check the app just to see, and it would say repair in progress. And so I'm like, okay, cool. It's not going to be, he quoted me June. So I dropped it off in December. It was supposed to be done in June. I was like, okay, great. It is March. And he calls me yesterday at the beach, and I was at the beach with a couple of my friends, and at first I get the voicemail and I'm like, oh my gosh, the repair didn't work or something broke and they're going to send it back. But then he tells me that the Maison he said Maison, which I thought was funny. He said that they finished the repair and the bag is ready. And if I could call him back to make an appointment to go pick it up, that would be great. And so I tried calling him back today. Today's Sunday. This was on Saturday when he called me. and he didn't answer, and I thought, well, I'll just go see. I'm just gonna go see what happens. I'm just gonna go there. Which is apparently, it's a good thing he was actually working today, because I don't think I would have been able to pick it up had he not been there. I don't know how that all works, but whatever. So I go, and I'm like, hi, I'm here to pick up my bag, and that was, he was like, oh great, I'm actually here today, so I'm glad that, like, I'm here. So he's like, let me go get it. So then he goes and gets it from the back. Okay, here it is. Okay, first of all, very kind of them. They gave me the bag. I know people are, here it is. So I know, the bag came to, the bag that I dropped off came totally trash. It did not have a dust bag. I did not have a bag. I literally brought it in a plastic bag. Like, I think just like a reusable shopping bag. I am so happy. And so he pulls it out, and look, they gave me a dust bag too. And he said, keep it in here when you're not using it. Keep it in here. It came stuffed. Here it is. Okay. Oh my God. I already looked at it in the store, so this isn't like a real unboxing. Here it is. It is a brand new, oh, the way the leather smells. It is a brand new Petite Noe. Like, everything is completely brand new. They replaced everything. I don't want to like pull this back. There's no date code on it now, which I had heard could happen, but honestly, the bag that I had, like, the date code was so hard to read. The only reason why the authenticator was able to authenticate it was because they were using like a really high resolution camera on the eBay listing. Whatever. Anyways, they even replaced the little key fob. I don't know if you can see it in here. And then they stuffed it, and like, look at how clean it is in here. It's really dark in here, so it's kind of hard to tell. I mean, it's a brand new bag. So all in all, I paid for about how much this would have cost to purchase back in the day. And I love it so much. The canvas is so soft. Okay, so back to the whole cracking canvas thing. Okay, so when I dropped this bag off, I honestly, when I got it in the mail from Japan, I wasn't expecting very much, and I didn't, other than getting it authenticated and like looking, I didn't look at it with a magnifying glass because I was thinking I was gonna have to return it anyway, so I wasn't trying to get too attached to it. Even though I did look at the canvas and I was like, okay, let me make sure there's no like rips, none of that stuff. But I didn't, like, I knew that the leather was cracked around the rim of it, right? And so I wasn't that worried about that aspect of it. So then I go to the store and we're looking at it, and the lights, you know, of course, are really bright in there, better than my dark Portland apartment. So we're looking at it, and I'm like, hey, you know, like, I know it's really cracked. And then we look at it closer, and I'm like with my essay, and I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm gonna be real. I do see a crack in the canvas, and it's like right where, and I tell him this in the store, and I'm like, it's right where the leather would have covered it. And he was like, well, listen, the canvas on these old bags is amazing. Like, let's just send it out. Let's see what happens. If they end up returning it, like, no, you know, at least we tried. Like, this is kind of, I wrote a note in there. He said, I wrote a note in there that you love this bag. And even though he didn't know that me and the bag had just met, he's like, I wrote a note in there that this is like kind of the last chance that you have to be able to use your bag again. And he was like, honestly, I think this is the last chance that you would have to get it repaired, in the sense that like this bag is not going to make it. Like, obviously I was never going to want to use that thing after that. And I'll see if I can find a photo from the listing so you can see. But anyway, so there was a crack in the canvas, you guys. There was a crack in the canvas, and that's what I am like so blown away about. It was right on, like, underneath where the leather, the vachetta leather kind of cap would go over. And it was like, it wasn't in one spot. It was in a couple of spots. And I don't think I took a picture of it, because at that point I wasn't trying to like push my luck in the store. I was just trying to drop it off and then kind of get out of there. Okay. So I was like, all right, I'm sure that like that's why I was obsessively checking the app, because I was like, okay, for sure they're going to see the crack and be like, we're not going to be able to do this. But they took it in and they repaired it. And I swear to God, there was a crack in the freaking canvas and they repaired it. And the leather covered it. And it's so beautiful and it's so good. And we're just so happy. I'm so excited to see how this patina's. And I was obsessively watching YouTube videos and TikToks and like anything I could find to see if anybody had a similar experience with this cracked canvas. And I'd heard people get their repairs like returned or denied or whatever. So I thought I would make this YouTube in the event that it is helpful for somebody who is in my shoes. And also I really like the idea that like here was this really crappy bag that nobody was going to use or want again. I'm sure they were selling it online for like people who, you know, make it into like keychains or like for scraps or whatever. But I bought it and had it repaired, and now it gets to have a new life, and I am going to have it forever. And look, it's perfect. It smells so clean. Try not to look at the camera. I've never made a YouTube video before, so I'm sorry. But anyways, it's absolutely perfect. They did replace all the hardware. I know some people ask about that. I didn't care about that. The hardware honestly was like old and not polished anyways. Like I thought I was gonna be waiting till June. He told me till June. So I, like a psycho, because I can't help myself, bid on this this epi leather Petite after watching Shannon Reynolds podcasts. Or YouTube videos rather. And anyways, it's kind of hard to tell. I polished up the grommets, rivets, whatever you want to call these, with Brasso, but they still look kind of dingy in my opinion. And so I might try to do it again, but this is going to be like kind of my winter bag. This one was made in '89. I don't remember when my monogram bag was made, but to say that I'm over the moon would be an absolute understatement. I need to take a look at this and just make sure that like there weren't any pieces of damage to it, because I did just spend a little bit of money on the bag to be repaired. But honestly, I have no regrets. I would do it again because I love the idea of having something forever. I'm going to baby the heck out of this thing. It's the most expensive piece of clothing, handbag thing, whatever I've ever bought, other than nothing. I mean, phones are expensive, but that's kind of different. My husband thinks I'm totally crazy. He does not get it, but I just love the idea of having this forever. And now here she is, and it's perfect. Like there's nothing wrong with this canvas. Honestly, they could have sent me back another monogram bag and I would have had no idea. This could be a brand new monogram bag and I have no idea. I don't think so though, because this canvas is so flexible, and even my essay was super nice. It was like, I am shook. I can't believe that this was like, they did such a good job. It was like a brand new bag. And honestly, back in the day when this was being sold, because I think he said that they quit making this sometime in like the early 90s. He's like, you would have paid for altogether how much you paid for this. Like, I don't want to say again because I'm still trying to process the fact that I just spent this much money, but I don't care. He said that you would have paid that much to get this brand new back in the day, and now they're like what, $2,500 with all the price increases. So y'all buy a used bag and like get it repaired, or repair the one that you have if you can. Like, this was so worth it. This was so worth it. I cannot wait. I live in Oregon, so I will never wear this in the rain. Although I am really excited about the whole patina process. This video is getting really long, so I need to like wrap it up. I'm obsessed. All of the really nice designer things that I have are from Louis Vuitton, and I don't know what it is. I'm obsessed with them. And I just can't believe it. I can't believe it. Ooh, I'm so excited. Okay, this just goes to show you that if there is a little tiny crack and it can potentially be covered by the leather, that was already there. They won't turn it away. In my essay, when I was dropping it off, he was saying the flexibility of this leather, or of the canvas rather, because it's like the old style canvas. It was so good back then that a lot of the times they'll just try, and there's a lot that they can do. So, God, I wish I remembered what year it was. I'll try to find the eBay listing and see if I can edit, although I've never edited a video before, so we'll see. But I'm just very happy. Okay, that's all.